Hi, this is Jodi. Welcome to round 2 of the Great American Stampin Show. We had so much fun last time in round 1 a couple of weeks ago, and we're so excited for you to join us again. Brandy was our winner last time, and congratulations to her. But we're coming for you this time. So we all brought our A game to round 2, and we are so excited to share it with you. If you by chance missed round 1, go ahead and look at the playlist that I have here on my YouTube channel, and you can see round 1 there. And I'm going to put each round in that one playlist, so super easy to find and go back to. So what the Great American Stamping Show is 4 stampers, 4 competitors choosing one stamp set, and we each just do our own thing. We have no idea what the other competitors are doing, literally until you do, until this goes live. So it's super fun just to see what we all come up with. Last time in round 1, I cased a card from the catalog, meaning I chose a card that I saw in the catalog and basically just duplicated it. I loved it. I loved the colors and the textures on the card, and just reinforcing that idea that the catalog is such an amazing idea book as well. This time, however, I am just really excited to share my new project with you. I've got some, I think it's unique, first of all, and I've got some tips and tricks that I think you're really going to enjoy. So for this video hop, what you'll do is you'll watch my video, and then there are links in my description to Brandy's, Shannon's, and Julie's. You'll go and watch all 4 videos and then decide which one you like the most. And you cast your vote to decide who wins by liking one of the 4 videos. And then we give it a week, and then we count up those likes and determine who is the winner. So, like I said, I'm super excited to share this new project with you. So let's get started and see what you think. All right, let's get started with round 2 of the Great American Stamping Show. This time, we chose the stamp set Bird's Eye View. I really like the stamp set. When I first looked at it, my very first instinct was to stack these birds, to build a little tower of birds. So I was trying to think about what I wanted to do with that, what a card might look like. And then for some reason, I thought about how much I love to read, especially in the summer outside, a nice cool evening, sitting on the deck with my little lights on. And when I thought about those 2 things together, I came up with an idea to do a bookmark for you for round 2 with the Bird's Eye View stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a piece of thick white cardstock that is 5.5 by 2.25, and I chose the thick white because I'm going to be doing some coloring with some Stampin Blends. So I'll pull those in so I have them right here by me, and I'll talk about the colors as I'm using them. And I have Memento Tuxedo Black ink. You always want to use the Memento ink when using Stampin Blends. That'll give you the best results. What do I want first? I want to start with this big bird here. So I'm going to ink him up on the Memento Black. And I'm going to start, oh my goodness, did I really just get ink? All right, I'm going to start by flipping the piece of cardstock right over. I'm going to put him right about here. And then we'll take the next one, ink that one up, and put him right on top. So because it's photopolymer, I can see right through and line up those feet so that they're on top of the previous one's head. And then finally end with the littlest bird in the stamp set and put him right there. Okay, so I've got my little stack of birds, which again, I just think is so fun. I'm also, let me pull this back in. I'm also going to use this stack of books. The branch is really cool too. If you wanted to put the birds on a branch, I think that would be a really fun idea too. I'm going to use the stack of books, and I'm going to stamp that on a small piece of Tahitian Tide cardstock. So I'll do that while I have my ink out. Stamp that right on there. Okay, and we will save that for later. I think I'm done with this for now, so let me get that covered. By the way, if you noticed how the lid just came right off, I always store it upside down. That helps keep the ink at the top of that ink pad. Okay, so let's start some coloring. I am going to start with Tahitian Tide. So I've got my light and dark shades of Tahitian Tide, and I like to start with light. I usually use the brush end here, the thicker end, as opposed to the bullet end. If I'm being honest, it's mostly just because I'm impatient and the brush end goes faster. Sometimes in small spaces, you do need to use that bullet end, but for the most part, I'll be just fine with the brush end. So I go all over here. When I color, I kind of stop just before the stamped line because memento ink is what I stamped in, but the blend will just kind of naturally bleed out a little bit. And so I don't go over the line. I go kind of right up next to it, and then it kind of just fills in that space. Now I'm going to take the dark Tahitian Tide and just kind of go over some of the markings that the stamp already gave me. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more on the bottom here and maybe around the top like this. And then one more time, I'm going to go in with the light and just kind of pull some of that color and blend it together. Once it dries, it's going to give a different look to that too. So the more I go over, the more I add ink, the darker it will be. Okay, so that's Tahitian Tide. That's my top little bird. And then I'm going to go to Sweet Sorbet. You might notice that these are some of last year's in colors. So they started in 2022. They will be around until 2024. So I chose 3 of last year's in colors: Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet, which is what I'm using now, and then also Parakeet Party. Now, I will confess that the very first bookmark that I made was not these colors, and I loved it. I'm actually going to show it to you, and I'm going to ask for your opinion on which of the 2 you like best. The other one was definitely more of a subtle color scheme, where this one you can tell is pretty darn bright. So I don't know. I think it's maybe just because of the time of year and summer, and I like brighter things here. I think that's why I went with this one, but I really like the other one too. And like I said, I will show it to you. So I'm just getting that Sweet Sorbet in. I'll go back a little bit more here. Just kind of blend that out a bit. And then finally, on the bottom one is the Parakeet Party. And so again, you can see, even though it's a decent amount of space to color, using the brush end really makes it go pretty quickly. And you might be noticing, I'm not using the tip like this. I'm kind of using the side of the brush end of these Stampin' Blends. Go back here, add some darker of the shade of Parakeet Party. Okay, so I've got this piece. I'm going to take my scissors, and this is a pretty easy cut. I'm cutting just on the outside of my stamped image. And I'm just going to cut a straight line there. I'll go back and get those little parts. But it's a pretty easy cut with the books here. So just go around like that. And I'm going to add this to the bottom. So the birds are going to be standing on this little stack of books, which I think is really fun for a bookmark. And the reason, I stamped it and colored it with the blends, and I just wanted a little something different, which is why I decided to stamp it on the Tahitian Tide cardstock and then just cut it out. So it just gives it a little bit of a different look as opposed to having it be stamped on white and colored in. So put my Stampin' Seal adhesive on the back, and then I'm just going to place that there so they're standing on the stack of books. Okay, next. I have a little piece. Here it is, another little piece of white. Gonna pull my Memento ink back in. And then this is a little stamp greeting that I got from the Sentimental Park stamp set. So you may have noticed the bird's eye view is awesome. It does not come with any greetings. So you can pull in any greeting that you have to go with the projects you make with this stamp set. So I really liked your new adventure because I thought, really, every time I sit and read a book, it is a little adventure. It's a little escape from reality, right? And so I loved this saying to go on a bookmark. So I cut it out like this, just freehand with my scissors, pretty tight to the words. And then I'm going to cut them apart. So I'm just gonna snip between each word. And then I'll carefully take my, my adhesive, put just a little bit on the back of each piece. And I'll put this one about here. So your, and then new, and upside down new. Stick over here a little bit. And then the word adventure. And so we'll stick that one right about there. So how fun is that for a bookmark? Your new adventure. Now you certainly could let this be the end of your project and it would be adorable and anyone would love to receive that from you. What I did though is took it just a little step further. Oh, and first of all, let me color in those beaks. This is a time where I do want to use the bullet end just to literally touch it, the Daffodil Delight, to the cardstock to make that beak yellow. Okay, so like I was saying, this could be it. This is a great project. Anyone would love to receive it. I wanted to add just a couple of things to make it even more special. I cut that. This die, again, is from Beautiful Balloons, and I pre-cut that so it's ready to go for our project. So what I'm going to do is take some adhesive and just put it here. I love this little fringe die. It's a longer die, so I actually could have gone along that whole edge there. So what I want to do is just set my bookmark now. I might have to trim just a little bit, but I just want to set this on here and give it just a little bit of a fringe bottom. And this, friends, is why you always have scrap paper underneath, right? The Stampin' Blends will go through. Okay, so let me just trim that little bit off. And now look how fun that is. That little bit of fringe right there along the bottom. Again, this could be it. This would be a wonderful bookmark to share with friends. Gonna take it one more step. This is a piece of Tahitian Tide cardstock. This is 2 3/8 by 7 3/4. And I'm going to pull in my 2 3/8 circle punch. And what I'm going to do is set this piece in here. I'm gonna show you a little trick. You're gonna pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. I'm gonna go all the way to the end where that Tahitian Tide lines up with the end of my punch. This is what it looks like here. I'm gonna pop it and I'm going to get a rounded edge. So what I'm going to do, let's see here. Am I ready to do this? I think I am. So I'm going to put my adhesive along the back of our thick white piece of cardstock where we did the stamping and the coloring. And then I'm going to set it right here on the Tahitian Tide layer. When I've got different little pieces like this or the fringe on the bottom, I like to do it upside down and just rub it like this because then I don't have to worry about messing up all those little pieces on the front. Okay? So we're continuing to build. This is super fun. One more thing I want to add to our little bird friends are some glasses because sometimes people need glasses to read. And so we want to give our little birds some glasses. So I'm going to put these on this friend. And then I just put them both on the same block because sometimes that's just easier. And these are going to go on this bird. Oh, goodness. Let's see if I can line that up. Oh, the beauty of photopolymer stamps. Okay, so the next thing, again, each step, it would have been great, just like that. Then we added the fringe, then we added the Tahitian Tide base, and then we added the glasses. The last thing I want to do is to add some fine tip glue. Now you might be thinking, if you don't have anything else to stick on, what in the world are you going to do with glue? Let me show you. I like to use the fine tip glue to kind of create a focal point. So I am going to gently squeeze my fine tip glue over this part where the glasses are. Okay? And we'll do it on this lens as well. And I'm just kind of going back and forth, trying to prevent little air bubbles from getting in there, but you can certainly pop them if that happens. Let me pull it up just so you can kind of see the difference. Do you see? It's reflecting a little bit, the light that I have on, but you can see that compared to this one, how that's raised just a little bit and glossy. It's just such a fun extra little thing you can do. I tend to use this fine tip glue on things like birthday candles. What else have I used it on? Sometimes like the center of a flower, just any little things where you just want a little bit of subtle detail. Add a little bit more over here. The one thing I will tell you is that you're going to want to keep this flat. It takes a little bit for the fine tip glue to dry. It's super cool when it does, but it takes just a bit. The last thing I'm going to do with this, again, just to create a little bit of a focal point down here with the books, is on the cover and then the spine of these books. I'm just going to add some of this fine tip glue as well. So it all depends, you know, how much you want to put into each project, each bookmark, each card, whatever it is that you might be doing. Adding the little details like the fringe, the words cut apart as opposed to stamped all together, the little bit of detail with the glasses, and then this fine tip glue. It all just comes together to make your project even more special. So, you know, I had fun last time with our Great American Stampin Show, and I showed you a project right out of the catalog. But I think this one deserves your vote. Let me show you a tip with this. I put this on my finger. I put the little end right there. It makes it really easy to close that glue. So like I was saying, I would love for you to vote for my project to be the winner of round 2 of the Great American Stamping Show. Go ahead and watch all the videos. Come back and cast your vote. When you're casting your vote, when you are liking my video, I also want to hear from you. Because what I did is I created the original that was more subtle colors, and then the latest that's brights. And these also have the glue dry, almost dry. I literally, you can see like where I stuck my thumb in that just a couple minutes ago. I thought it was dry. You see that little smudge right there? But look at that gloss. Look how fun that is on the glasses and on the books. So tell me what you think. Do you like the subtle color combination of Wild Wheat, Calypso Coral, Pool Party, and the books are Lost Lagoon? Or do you like the bright colors, the Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet, and Parakeet Party? Go ahead and comment and tell me which of these you like the most. I'd also love to hear what you learned, any tips or tricks that you learned in this video. And then, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, vote for my video. I want to win round 2 of the Great American Stamping Show. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to click through to the other links and watch all 4 videos. Thanks and have a great day.